The underground Sitsu subway station was not just a lair for only the undead, but also had many unknown mutated creatures residing there as well. At that moment, Liang Yu, being the first to take action, swiftly pull a dagger and throws it with such accuracy, piercing the intended target squarely in the belly. The creature died instantly, falling to the ground. Seeing this, Zhang Yi approached the dead creature for a closer look, and upon inspection he was shocked to his core, his expression under the mask highlighting his disbelief. This is a rat that's bigger than the size of a cat. After getting over his initial shock, Zhang Yi commented that finding a mutated rat in this sort of places was not surprising, now that he thinks about it, and from the looks of it the corpses we encountered earlier seems to have been all eaten by rats. Zhang Yi said this as he turns his head slightly towards Chunlei, addressing the point he made before. Hearing this, Chunlei agreed, but the issue now was that there are so many corpses which they encountered, and judging from that there must also be a group of rats nearby. Immediately upon saying this, a loud and familiar squeaks could be heard ahead of them. It seems that we've really entered a rat's nest. Soon a mischief of rats were approaching them in full force. As Zhang Yi strapped himself with a flamethrower, he felt a wave of disgust with what he saw. So without any hesitation he ordered everyone to wipe them out. If these rats were eager to meet the Rat King of Hell, then who were they to refuse them? Uncle Yu and Chunlei also strapped themselves with a flamethrower, then collectively with Zhang Yi they release a massive sea of flames, setting the mutated rat ablaze. Their squeaking sounds and the smell of burning flesh filled the air. However, the wave seemed endless, and another mischief of rats started approaching them from the other direction. Seeing this, Zhang Yi told Uncle Yu and Chunlei to halt their actions and put away the flamethrowers. Putting the flamethrowers back in his alternate space, he thought that, if the situation continues, then he doesn't know when it will be resolved, and not to mention they haven't even began to look for the zombie king, which was their primary objective. Realizing this, Zhang Yi activated his ability and opened a double door, with his alternate space open at both ends. The clueless and unintelligent mutated rats just continued to enter the portal non-stop. Seeing this made Liang Yu curious about something, so she directly asked Zhang Yi, "Has your dimensional gate been upgraded?" Hearing this, Zhang Yi neither confirmed nor denied anything, but simply said he has been studying the use of his dimensional gates for a while now, and after the last war, he found out that he was able to use 2 dimensional gates at the same time. Given their situation, Liang Yu replied that it was quite convenient. Soon after, the rat assault was immediately dealt with, and the team were on the run again, with Flower leading the way. Zhang Yi wondered if the zombies would be alerted if the rats had made a fuss. This made Liang Yu question Zhang Yi whether the rats and zombies have some sort of relationship since they're both located underground. Who knows, let's just keep going. Zhang Yi said this as a form of a reply, and seconds later they found what they were searching for. Ahead of them were the horde of zombies, who seemed to have not heard them approach. Seeing this, Uncle Yu was quickly strapped with a flamethrower, and as the team gradually made their silent approach towards the zombies, Uncle Yu with a puzzled look noticed that the zombies were asleep, which seems odd from his perspective. But Zhang Yi replied him, saying the zombies' actions made perfect sense. Even as a host of a virus, action requires energy, so when they don't get orders, they lurk and rest in the dark. Hearing this, Uncle Yu inquired whether Zhang Yi wants to burn them all in the state. Zhang Yi did not give an answer immediately but was in thoughts. He remembered what Zhou Qir said to him earlier. Before their departure, Zhou Qir informed Zhang Yi that the zombies retain part of their biological nature. Strictly speaking, they were more like a swarm of insects. In this case, they also need to rest. It would be great if they could sleep like this forever, but that's just wishful thinking. At that moment, a zombie at the end of the row noticed their presence, and when he did, his closed eyes immediately opened wide and like a hived mind. All the zombies did the same immediately after. Then they all turned their heads towards the team, their eyes emitting a red glow as their expressions were full of killing intent. They quickly made their way towards them in an instant, but Zhang Yi was quick to act. He opened his portal to his alternate space, silently confirming that, sure enough, it wasn't going to be easy to get past the zombies without burning them. This was the reason why he didn't answer Uncle Yu immediately. But now the situation had gotten more troublesome, and they're left with no choice. On the other end, the zombies, same as earlier, came to an abrupt stop when they saw the portal. They halted any sort of advances, but soon after the zombies collectively shouted Zhang Yi's name, and although their disgruntled voice made Zhang Yi's name sound different, it was obvious who they were referring to. This also meant their puppet master, the Zombie King, had discovered them. Without a second thought, Zhang Yi ordered them to be burned. He also took out another flamethrower and strapped Chunlei with it. With the two safely geared up, Zhang Yi closed the portal, and what followed after was a massive sea of flames so intense that the zombies stood no chance in surviving. Not that they did to begin with. This made them change their course of action, opting to make a wise retreat as fast as their frozen legs could take them. Seeing this, Zhang Yi knew that the Corpse King is not far from their current location, so he told everyone to chase after them. The team immediately did just that as they chased the zombies, with Uncle Yu and Chunlei leading the charge at full speed. Their run was also so never a hindrance, as they continued to release the intense flames ahead. Zhang Yi also kept his dimensional gate open, blocking any attack ahead of them in the tunnel. At that moment Liang Yu heard noise from behind, and as she looked back, she noticed that the remaining giant rats were still staring at them from behind. Zhang Yi told her to ignore them for the time being. They needed to find the location of the zombie king as soon as possible, and kill it to avoid future troubles. The small fries could wait. The tunnel was not closed. The zombie king might have escaped while they were trapped here, but seeing the number of zombies ahead of them reducing, Zhang Yi told everyone to speed up their pace. Meanwhile, at another unknown location in the subway station, the flame fist of Radiant Prosperity based Dong Hu and his team sent to the zombies' lair earlier to investigate, but were also attacked by the mutated rats. With a loud boom, Dong Hu dispatched a couple of the mutated rats with his flaming fist. Soon after they were able to successfully deal with them, Dong Hu immediately gave the order to move on. After all, their goal is to find the zombie group and obtain information about them. Until then, no matter what difficulties we encounter, we must overcome them. Dong Hu said this with a serious expression, intending to finish this mission to the very end. At this moment his team was left with only 2 soldiers, who were strapped with flamethrowers, so as they encountered the army of zombies in the tunnel, they cautiously approached them, mindful of their immediate surroundings in order to not make any noise. Their objective was just to observe and find out the leader responsible for controlling them. Similar to what Zhang Yi and his team faced earlier, the zombies at the end of the line immediately noticed their presence, and when they did, their closed eyes immediately opened wide. And like a hive mind, all the zombies did the same immediately after. Then they all turned their heads back towards Dong Hu and his team, their eyes emitting a red glow as their expressions were full of killing intent. Seeing this, Dong Hu was shocked to his core. He couldn't believe his eyes as a visible sweat dripped down his face. He thought the number of zombies were simply unfathomable. Retreat, retreat quickly. The zombies quickly made their way towards them in an instant. But Dong Hu was quick to act. He ignited his fist with flames and held them back as much as he could. Retreat quickly and don't look back. Our firearms can delay them for a while. Escape to the nearest subway entrance, and be quick about it. Dong Hu ordered his men as he continued to deal with the zombies. But amidst the heated battle, Dong Hu's flaming fist illuminated the dark tunnel, and in doing so one of his soldiers noticed an abnormally tall humanoid shadow approaching ahead of them from the shadows, unbeknownst to them that a similar one was also approaching from behind. But upon realization, a loud sonic roar was released from this mysterious figure, which temporarily put the soldiers in a state of terror. Then with a single swing of its claws the soldiers were cleaved through in half like they were nothing. Dong Hu felt the killing and suppressing aura from behind him in waves, and in that moment he knew he was done for. Meanwhile, Zhang Yi and his team had followed the zombies to a transfer station, and as the zombies escaped through a flight of stairs ahead of them, Chunlei commented that their situation was becoming a bit troublesome. With the transfer station, we can't figure out the exact location of the zombie king. In this case, how do we know where to go? Hearing this, Zhang Yi replied that he had a feeling that the zombie king wasn't far away from them, but at this point it looks like the zombies were leading them elsewhere. At that moment a loud clicking sound echoed from both ends of the tunnel continuously, and these sounds were immediately followed by the same familiar shadow from earlier. Zhang Yi warned everyone to watch out. It seems these undead had bigger ones that were approaching. This humanoid figure was a creature of at least 3 meters tall, with the lower part of its body and arms completely covered with a hard bronze armored skin. It had a lean body with extremely long arms stretching down to the ground. Also its claws were no different, and with its frosty upper body having an incredibly tough skin, highlighting its glowing green eyes, this intimidating creature looked like it came straight out of a horror movie. Seeing this, Uncle Yu asked if it was the zombie king, but Liang Yu also spotted another one at the other end of the tunnel, then another, and just like that, the team was soon cornered in the transfer station. With this new development, Zhang Yi was in thoughts. Are these things manufactured in batches? There is absolutely no way they were born naturally. Uncle Yu then asked Zhang Yi what they should do now. Well, what else can we do now besides fighting them? With Chunlei and Uncle Yu leading the charge with their flamethrowers, Zhang Yi turns to Liang Yu and Flower. Liang Yu, Flower, you two should just stay by my side, and don't stay too far away. There are too few of us now and we need to stick together. With a loud sonic roar, the humanoid bronze armored gave the go-ahead for the zombies to attack. However, their advances were halted by the tense flames released by Chunlei and Uncle Yu, and from the looks of it, the bronze armored zombie were also affected by the flames, so they dare not approach the zombies that managed to get past. The flames were dealt with by Liang Yu, who effortlessly cleaved through them with her dragon's roar like a hot knife through butter. Seeing this, the bronze-armored zombie, using zombies as cannon fodder, throws them in large numbers like projectile towards the team. Fortunately, Zhang Yi opened his dimensional gate, which swallowed all the launched zombies midair, but at that precise moment, a broker armored rushed forward from the horde when it saw an opening for a brief moment. Seeing this, Chunlei panicked and immediately increased the intensity of the flames, halting the bronze-armored zombie in its tracks. With the battle taking place underground without any ice or snow, Chunlei was utterly defenseless without the flamethrower, unable to advance. The bronze-armored zombie continued their zombie-throwing assaults, only this time it started from the other end as well, prompting Zhang Yi to activate his double door. Zhang Yi kept the double door opened, but under such a large area, it became impossible for him to deal with all the assaults simultaneously from all directions. Seeing this made Uncle Yu exclaim in frustration, "Damn it, there must be a zombie king commanding behind this. It's a pity that we can't kill these zombies now, but how are we going to kill the zombie king?" Zhang Yi told Uncle Yu not to be anxious. At times like this he needs to be calm and observe carefully. If they keep a level head then they can definitely find the zombie king. Also it's nearby. Can feel it. Faced with the onslaught of zombies, Uncle Yu stepped forward, activating his ability. His muscles visibly swelled at an astonishing speed, instantly bursting through his combat suit, and transforming him into a muscle giant over 2 meters tall. The next second he charged into a bronze-armored zombie like a tank. Uncle Yu was like a titan going toe-to-toe with the bronze-armored. On the other hand, Liang Yu also attacked another bronze-armored zombie. With her sword she instantly made a deep wound on the frosty chest of bronze-armored zombie. Blood began to gush out uncontrollably. However, seconds later the blood immediately stopped as the wound slowly began to heal. It seems this humanoid creatures have some sort of regenerative ability. Seeing this, Liang Yu alerted everyone that the bronze-armored zombie were really hard to deal with. Zhang Yi immediately told Flower to go help Uncle Yu while he does the same with Liang Yu. So Zhang Yi slowly activated his divine power. He immediately shouted for Liang Yu to get out of the way. Hearing this, Liang Yu made a leap away from the bronze-armored zombie, and as she puts a significant distance between herself and the zombie, Zhang Yi wasted no time initiating his divine power. The space around the bronze-armored zombie began to twist. It suddenly felt an unimaginable pain but didn't get the chance to call for its comrades' help before it was severed in half by an unknown force. Accompanied with a loud boom, the bronze-armored zombie upper body was blown into bits. Seeing this, Chunlei immediately got excited, and started laughing in joy as he approached the horde of zombies. "It's just you guys. Let's see how fast I burn you all to death." Although Liang Yu was there when Zhang Yi used his divine power to sever Yona's neck at West Mountain Base, she didn't pay much attention to it due to the heated battle. But witnessing it firsthand made her turn to Zhang Yi in disbelief. "Your current strength is simply terrifying. Looking at the entire Tianhai city, I am afraid that no one can catch a wind of this spatial blow just now without being prepared." Hearing this made Zhang Yi smile in delight. "What do you mean by that? That was just basic operation for me. Anyway, it's a bit too early to relax now. I think our real opponent should be nearby, and I'm still waiting for him to appear." Zhang Yi said this as he turned towards Uncle Yu, who was still in a brawling match with the bronze-armored zombie. With either side unable to really suppress the other, it became a fight of endurance. It seems that the team had gotten the upper hand in this battle. However, at that moment another group of bronze-armored zombies appeared, and as they approached the team, Zhang Yi gritted his teeth in frustration. When he saw this, he wondered just how this could be happening. How many such monsters are there? Chunlei on the other hand was in full panic mode, exclaiming in fear that it was over. What were they going to do now? Hearing this, Zhang Yi sighed heavily. It seems that this time the situation is more serious than I imagined, and the forces behind it are becoming more and more terrifying than before. With this new development, Zhang Yi proceeds to order everyone to retreat to his side immediately. Hearing this, Uncle Yu and Flower stopped their assaults and quickly retreated to Zhang Yi's position. Zhang Yi then closed his dimensional double door, but as soon as the door was closed the zombies got emboldened. Seeing the shift in momentum of the battle, they rushed forward in full force as their loud battle cry echoed the entire tunnel. Zhang Yi paid them no attention and opened another dimensional gate, then quickly told everyone to follow him inside. In the heat of the moment there was no time for questions as everyone followed Zhang Yi through the gate. The zombies reached where they were at the precise moment the gate closed. But when they found out that they had just disappeared through thin air without any trace, they turned their heads from side to side in confusion. At the same time the group appeared above underground as they made their exit. Zhang Yi sighed in relief. "Wow, I was really scared to death." Liang Yu walked up to Zhang Yi with an evident surprised smile etched on her face. "Zhang Yi, was that your new ability?" "It's not really a new ability, but I have some new understanding of the application of my dimensional gates," Zhang Yi replied with a knowing smile. And from the looks of it, this was the source of Zhang Yi's newly found bravery from earlier. His trump card: he had an escape-proof plan all along. Su Chunlei slammed to the ground in relief when they made it to the surface, but when he heard what Zhang Yi said, he couldn't help but say, "Boss, if you have this kind of ability you should have told me earlier. Do you know I was almost scared to death just a moment ago."